this is the final chart, and I think it sums a lot of this up. If you look at all the key metrics you usually will measure a shelter by, with all the challenges we've got, with all the things that we need to do to make things better for the animals in Guilford County, the fact of the matter is that intake is down significantly in Guilford County. Our positive outcomes is up significantly. 81% is an incredible number for a shelter that was not anywhere close to that 5 years ago. Euthanasia is down 11% for unhealthy, untreatable dogs. And then shelter population is the lowest in years. We have a lot to do. We know we can do better in social media, and we're going about doing that. But the reality of this is, we have made incredible progress since the county took over this shelter. And credit should be given to the county, to Animal Services, and all the people connected with it, because without their commitment, we could have not made the progress. And then, of course, obviously our rescue partners and others that we worked with. But Guilford County sits right at the top of the state of comparable counties. So when people are criticizing the shelter or finding an isolated incident, please remember we have made incredible progress over the past 3 years. The hotspot analysis will help us drive that canine number about even more. It helps us with cats, but it should really help us with canines, and that's the work that'll be going on this year in Jorge's group with this pet initiative to get out in there and try to help people find ways to keep those animals where they are and so forth, and then hopefully at the same time help decrease the population of puppies. Another thing that's pretty significant, I think, and I've always found that working with animal control this way, with the changes that he's planning to make and has made, for animal control to be successful in Animal Services, you need to work with the community and be viewed as an asset. You heard last meeting, Josie describe what they try, what they do. And I really believe that it's a commitment to work with people. It's not trying to police them. You can issue citations all day long, but at the end of the day, what you really want people to do is to understand what you're trying to accomplish and try to work with you to do it. Because I don't think anybody knowingly, most anybody knowingly wants to harm an animal. Sometimes they just don't have the education they need, they maybe don't have the resources they need, all of those things. Those are things that we can help bring to the community in 2019 as we work to drive these numbers down. But at the end of the day, cats are challenging. And that's an area where we really need to do a better job. And I know that there's a strong commitment to people who view themselves as representing the cat community on the board are committed to that, but they'll need the help of the whole community in order to bring that in line with where we want to be. Does the board have any questions about the data that I shared? Have Jorge shared any questions about it?
I had a small question.
Sure.
Are there any initiatives or ideas that you might have researched from Wake or Mecklenburg County that you were looking to implement in our county that you could possibly share with us?
Yeah, there's a couple of, so I have sent staff to Wake to meet with their operations team. They have sat in what they call their animal welfare meeting, just so we can start gathering ideas. In fact, I was on the phone this afternoon with Dr. Sandra Strong with Wake County, just talking about their medical processes and if we can share some policies and procedures they have in place in order for us to kind of look at those and so we can be comparable. So yeah, and so we're going to start doing that. We've visited Randolph County, we've visited Davidson, we've visited Rockingham is on the list to go visit. So big or small, we have a meeting with Charlotte on Tuesday. So yeah, so not only just to Wake, but others that we're trying to see what they're doing that works for us, might work for us.
Well, you might talk about what's going on with Charlotte and the TNR. For the sponsor, I really shouldn't describe it exactly that way, but the Feline Spade Initiative.
Right, so one of the things that we're going to be doing March 18th is partnering with the Humane Society of Charlotte and Charlotte Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control. They're hosting 4 community cat TNR initiatives for Charlotte. They needed to increase their capacity to do surgery, so they've asked if they can borrow a spot truck for a spay neuter. So we'll be taking the spot truck down for them to use the spot truck for additional surgery space capacity. But at the same time, we have implemented a lease option for the truck, and the lease is that when the truck goes down there, it will be loaded with animals that will be transferred to the Humane Society of Charlotte. So it becomes a transfer partnership agreement, and that's what part of the meeting is on Tuesday. Not only when the truck is going down there, but it's also on a monthly transport basis, so we're trying to set that up with them. Still in the works.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the idea. We haven't signed it.
Right.
We also hope to learn how they're doing their TNR program.
Right, but, okay, so
That's
going
really
into-
the main
yeah.
takeaway, I think, from that, is that learning from them.
What we want to do is not only have the opportunity to share the equipment that we have and be able to transfer animals down there, but to learn from what they are doing, how they're doing it, so we can bring it back to Greensboro and we have an idea of what resources we need, what staffing we need, what partnerships we need to create within the community to make something like that happen. As you know, animal services can only have a limited role in providing, spay neuter services to the community, so we need to identify how they're doing things, learn from it, and then just bring that back. Yeah, the good thing, it's our equipment, so we'll see how it's being used.
Right.
So, you're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the election for 2019 for the chair and the vice chair. Any nominations for chair?
I nominate you to continue.
Are there any other nominations? I move the nominations closed.
Second.
There being no other nominations, the secretary will cast one vote. On behalf of the board, that's the way you do that. Vice chair. Any nominations for vice chair? I know Linda's willing to continue, should that be the will of the committee. She could not be here tonight.
Nominate Linda.
Are there any other nominations? With nominations closed, again, the secretary casts one vote. At this term, just to here's kind of the thought process. I term limit, I think Linda does as well, term limit in April of next year from the board. The notion is these terms go from calendar year to calendar year, which will give us 4 months roughly of overlap with whoever the new chair is starting in January of 2020. And so you need to be thinking, for those of you that will have term left unless something changes, you need to be thinking about who you'd like to see leading the effort as we go into to 2020, and that'll give us the opportunity to have overlap between the past chair and vice chair and the new team. The second thing on the agenda has to do with the annual calendar. Something we should have done in January, but we just simply didn't do it. It was an oversight. We are sorry for that. The thing is, though, the calendar that you have in front of you, and this is my fault because I didn't get this to Josie, so she didn't know. Let me give you the proposed calendar. You can just mark what you've got in front of you and see if you all are agreeing. Here's what we're suggesting. Obviously, meeting tonight on the 14th. We'll have another meeting on March 14th. However, in April, as we did last year, we're recommending a shelter tour. I think we ought to get out there once a year. And we go out, I was out earlier this month, but while we all go out and volunteer in various ways, I think it's important for the group as a whole, and if people from this, if the audience care to join us, they're welcome to do so. And there'll be no business conducted that night, we'll just have a tour of the shelter. Then we'll meet again on May 9th and May 13th, but there'll be no July meeting, we'll meet middle of the summer. Then we'll meet August, September, October, November, but no December meeting. So essentially, there'll be 3 It'll be just 2 times we won't be, and we'll have another meeting where there won't be business conducted, and then we'll have have 9 business meetings. We only had one.
Which one you need the business?
I will. So April will be a shelter tour, and then no meeting in July, and then no meeting in December. Now, the calendar's open for discussion if there's any proposed changes to that or other ideas on how we might do it. But this is to get us started. Now, during that time, particularly for the July meeting, the December meeting, talk to Jorge about providing us a written report on just highlights and so forth. So we will get the board will get some feedback, but we won't have a formal.
So on the dates that are listed, are there any holidays on those dates?
No.
No. So you don't have to worry about going back and saying we have to change it.
Does the calendar seem then to you all appropriate? Okay. Do I have a motion that we adopt the calendar as modified? I've got this, I can give to you, Jason. You made the motion, second. All in favor? Aye. So the calendar is adopted as stated, just for everyone, just to repeat very quickly. Our usual second Thursday meeting, except in April, shelter tour, no meeting in July, and no meeting in December. Beth, do you have anything to update us on, since you got a lot of attention in the presentation? Do you have anything to update us on?
Sure, I can update you briefly. Jorge and I had a discussion last week on the phone with Kelly Ferris, who is a professor at NC State Vet School, and she oversees their mobile spay neuter unit and their shelter medicine program, and she's going to come to our March 14th advisory board meeting and speak about some partnerships that she'd like to develop with Guilford County around spay neuter and shelter medicine with a particular focus on TNR. We were motivated to call her after learning about an event that Forsyth County held, this was last month in January, a spay neuter event that the NC State vet students were involved in. So anyway, she'll be here March 14th to speak to the board.
Right.
Jorge and I have spoken about, I think Renisha asked a question about learning from other counties. 2 counties that we're particularly interested in learning from, Brunswick County and Wake County. Both of them have made substantial changes to their county animal control ordinance to allow fuller participation by animal control officers and law officers in terms of TNR and spay neuter. So we're looking at those more carefully with the plan to go to our county legal team to see if similar modifications would fly here. Because the more that animal control is permitted to do in this arena, the more progress we can make more quickly, since they are the ones that are getting most of the calls about outdoor cats. I mean, there are a lot of volunteers, but compared to the calls that animal control gets, we don't get that many. So, so that's our plan moving forward. We're also we're always looking into sources of funding for TNR, and this is where one place where cats are substantially different than dogs, because cats are not owned, and many people take care of a large number of them. It's not reasonable to expect that they can pay to stay near a large number of animals that aren't their own. So we're continually looking into that area for funding support. So that's what we're doing.